Morgan Stanley Dean Witter. Hello, welcome to another British National League game of the week, and we are here at Milton Keynes at Planet Ice to see the Kings play the Solihull Blaze this evening, and the programme is brought to you with NTL and also Morgan Stanley Dean Witter. Now then, it is the end of the regular league programme, the playoffs just around the corner. Andy Sparks is with me. Milton Keynes and Solihull tonight. Andy, what are they playing for?
Well, of course, Solihull, as we know, they're in with a playoff place already. Milton Keynes, unfortunately, their season is coming to an abrupt end once they've played all their regular season games. OK, let's start by looking at the home side, Milton Keynes Kings. Some interesting players in there, and Rob Coots heads the pack. Yeah, Rob Coots, ex-Slough player. He's taken over the coaching from Mark Mackey, who left during the season, and he's really leading with great determination, and even though they haven't had the greatest season, you know, they haven't made the playoffs, but he's still getting the team together and, you know, still fighting for every goal and point they can. And also another man that's done his days in Slough as well as Derek Higdon. Yeah, Derek Higdon, of course, first season he was here as in Bracknell, went over to Slough. He was brought up here by Rob Coots, and he's acting well as the assistant coach for this season. Someone that's been flying down the wing on occasions last season for the Guildford Flames was Greg Randall. He's now here at Milton Keynes. Great acquisition for the Milton Keynes club this season. Unfortunately, things didn't work out for him at Guildford, although he had a tremendous season and really doing exactly the same as what he did last year here in Milton Keynes. OK, let's go on to Solihull, the visitors tonight. Steve Chartrand is one I know that you want to look out for. Steve Chartrand, what can I say? He's not a big player. He's only 5'10", 175 pounds, but my, what hands he has. He's just pure poetry on ice, it really is. Always one of the top scorers in the league, and still there. 7 or 8 years I think he's played now at Solihull, and always up there amongst the goal scorers. There are various names that one always recognises from around the league, and one of them certainly that I recognise is Michael Tasker. Tasker, what can I say? He's a great player. He's only 26 years of age. He's been around a few clubs. He's been player coach at Dumfries. He was at Newcastle at the beginning of this season. Unfortunately, things didn't work out for him in the Super League, and now he's playing his trade here in Solihull and really doing well this year. And at the back as well for Solihull, there's another name that many people recognise, Mark Pallister. Pallister, what can you say? I think his name goes before him wherever he goes. Great defenseman, big, strong, and someone, especially going into the playoffs, who's really going to bring a lot of experience to the team, and definitely one to watch tonight. OK, well, Andy, for the moment, thanks very much indeed. Interesting game tonight, Milton Keynes against Solihull Blaze. We haven't seen them so far on the BNL Game of the Week. And at the end of the programme tonight as well, we're going to be looking forward to the playoffs. Enjoy the action.
That's it. I've had enough.
No annual fee, a cashback bonus award, and more.
Seems to have done the trick.
The Morgan Stanley Dean Witter card. Has your credit card just expired?
For less than £5 a month, NTL can bring you a phone that charges national calls at our local rates. 8 extra TV channels via the wonders of cable, and internet access for just £0.01 a minute. Whereas BT charges you twice that for just a phone service. So for a package that's got the lot, call NTL now on 0800 183 1234. NTL, technology tamed.
And welcome to tonight's BNL game here at the Milton Keynes ice rink between the Milton Keynes Kings and the Solihull Blaze. Fred, as we know, Solihull Blaze, 7th in the league. Definitely, they've got their playoff place, but Milton Keynes out of the playoffs.
Yeah, Milton Keynes out of the playoffs, and really this weekend, their last weekend of hockey in the BNL, and what they really want to do is just pull themselves off the bottom. If they can get 2 wins here, Sparksy, and pass the Paisley Pirates. On the other hand, obviously Solihull getting ready for the playoffs.
Pease there, just trying to get through, and Paul steals that one. Milton Keynes on the early break here. Paul takes it behind the net. He's got Pratcher out in front. That's intercepted by number 44, Mike Shewan. Paul once again with the puck for a MK. Just throws out in front of the glove hand side there by Holyhead, and the puck's cleared. Coots collects in neutral ice, just played off the boards and picked up by Chartrand. Chartrand will just throw that one into the corner, and that's picked up by number 2, Dan Pratchett, assistant captain of the Milton Keynes Kings. Fred, of course, myself and Peter were speaking about a couple of the players before the game, but Chartrand, what a great player he is.
Yeah, Chartrand, him and Callum, AJ Callum, you know, they play together here, the 2 top scorers. One's 4th and one's 6th in the top 10 scoring, and they're the guys to watch out here tonight. Number 18, number 12 for the Solihull Blaze.
Callum there with the puck. Finds Chartrand, he tries to play it through, but Coots gets a stick in the way of that one. Nick Paul once again just gains his own, plays it back. Shot there by number 17, Dean Campbell, and that hits the side netting. Tasker plays that one up the boards, and unfortunately his man couldn't collect that one. Hacken Clydes there, ex-Basingstoke player, just plays it through for number 22. Nate Leslie in the zone is cleared once again. And we'll have our first whistle with only a minute and 30 gone in this game.
Sparksy, again, a bottom end of the table clash, if you like. But, you know, we've seen guys in warm-up come out with sunglasses on, and everybody really loosey-goosey in this game. And sometimes, you know, that brings out the best in people. Although there's no pressure, Solihull going into the playoffs, and Milton Keynes ending out their season, you know, it makes for a good game because there's no pressure on them. So they just play a good free-flowing hockey game. Although I noticed MK are a little bit short-handed. Only 10 players dressed. 2 with the 2 goaltenders there makes 12, so a little bit short-handed tonight.
Solihull applying the early pressure here. Puck just held up against the boards, and we'll have another face-off deep in the Milton Keynes zone. Fred, we look down there and we see Gavin Armstrong in the goal for Milton Keynes, but the biggest upset for Solihull, especially going into the playoffs now, the loss of Stephen Doyle.
Yeah, Stephen Doyle suspended, and you know, Sparksy, we do know that in playoff hockey, to keep in the hunt, you need top goaltending. So we'll see if Solihull's goaltending, backup goaltending, can pick up the slack here.
Wales just throws that into the corner and dodges a check from his man. Wales once again for Milton Keynes, loses out and picked up by Coles. Hacken Clydes now through the centre ice, just throws that one into the corner. Coles will chase this one, and that's picked up by Simon Ferry in his second term now with the Milton Keynes Kings after starting the season with the Oxford outfit. Tasker couldn't take that one. It's picked up now by number 19, Nick Paul. Paul there on alone against Holyhead, and great defending there by Mark Pallister, getting back just in time.
Poole, who played for Manchester in the Super League, really turned on the Jets there. Mark Pallister came back and did a good job defensively to not allow Poole to get the shot away.
Rob Coots, you'll probably see a lot of him tonight with the shortened bench on the Kings, just finds Pratchett, who finds Poole through the middle. Coots once again, up to Clark. Young Gary Clark, ex-Telford and Guildford player, just finding Derek Higdon on the wing. He throws that in, that's collected by Holyhead. Number 2, James Pease, just throws that at the boards. He tries to find assistant captain, number 16, Kurt Irvine, one of the men wearing the sunglasses, but he couldn't collect that. We got a icing call with 16:49 remaining here in the first period.
You know, when we talk about the Solihull teams, Sparksy, this team here, a lot of teams are afraid of them in the playoffs. If they can get their act together in the playoffs, they're a hard team to beat in their own rink. So don't count them out in this playoff run. As I said, they want to get this weekend over with, and they really want to do well in the playoffs and make amends for their poor season.
So face off to the right-hand side of Holyhead in the Solihull goal. Milton Keynes win that one. It comes back to Pratchett on the point. Fakes the shot, walks in, takes the shot himself, and blocker saved there by Holyhead. That's thrown into the corner. Irvine only as far as Coates on the blue line. Fires that one in, great save by Holyhead once again. Higdon behind the net, throws it out in front. Clark couldn't get his stick to that. Holyhead will cover up, and we'll have another face-off deep inside the Solihull zone.
Yeah, a nice save there by Holyhead after 17 games. This fella here, you take a look here, shot comes from Coots. Holyhead makes the original save, but Derek Higdon, number 18, he's the danger man for MK there, just throws it out in front. And again, Holyhead will jump on that. After 17 games, Holyhead, an average of 4.39, Sparksy.
Coots once again tries to keep that one, and he does. It comes to Higdon. Down low, Clark with a shot, and great moves there, and Holyhead coming up big with the save once again.
While we talk about, Doyle being suspended, and this man, Holyhead, having to hold the fort. You see right here, off the face-off, which is so important, Coots just bangs it off the boards. And Higdon will pick it up and move it off to Clark. Clark makes a nice move, but Holyhead stands his ground and makes a great save there.
So face off to the right-hand side of Holyhead in the Solihull goal once again. Chartrand will face off against Nick Poole. Chartrand getting the better of that one, and James Pease plays it around the boards for number 18, AJ Kellum. Coots bangs that one straight back into Kellum's stick, and he'll clear the zone. Icing waved off on that play as Bradshaw collects the puck for Milton Keynes, plays it through to Poole, who taps that onto Higdon. He couldn't collect, and the puck's thrown back in once again. Coots behind his net, gives to Bradshaw. Loses that to Kellum. He throws that across ice, and unfortunately for him, Chartrand couldn't collect. He does in the end, gets it back to Coles with a shot. Big shot there, sorry, from number 44, Mike Shewan, and a great save there by Armstrong. Milton Keynes really struggling to clear their zone here, but Coots now has it, plays it off the boards, only as far as Kellum. He gives it to Pease, back to Kellum once again, and Milton Keynes really applying some intense pressure here, Fred.
Well, Milton Keynes being trapped in their own end because Solihull on the forecheck, they've got some good skaters there, really holding the puck in deep, and I think, you know, as the Higdon line gets off, the thing against Milton Keynes again tonight, they're short benched. Mark Hazelhurst spoke to him before the game. He's out, had a shoulder operation. Mark Twait, he's been out, shoulder injury. So, you know, not only have they had a poor season, but they've had a bad run again, the coaching change. So they're down and out right now. They just want to get the season over and hopefully rebuild. And they've got a good crowd here, and they want to keep hockey in Milton Keynes.
So puck played round the boards and picked up by Michael Wales once again. He plays that off the boards. Icing waved off on that play. Number 13, Bro behind the net. Lou gives that to Coles. He clears the zone. Ferry couldn't keep it in. Justin Beckering gets to the puck first, plays it round. And we're going to have a delay call against a Solihull man here. Puck's thrown across there for Randall to collect. He's played out into the boards by Pease. And Poole has it now. Ferry. Back to the point. He throws that in. Holyhead collects, and we'll have a penalty call going against, I believe, I'm not sure who that's against, but Solihull going on into the box now, and we'll get a good look at the MK power play, Fred.
Yes, we'll have a chance to see Milton Keynes power play. Obviously, Higdon and Clark will come out, and Beckering and Coots will be on the point, and Poole. So you basically look out there, Sparks. You got 4 imports with a Canadian, and that'll be the power play for MK.
So a face-off to the right-hand side of Holyhead in the Solihull goal with 14:44 remaining here in this first period, and Michael Tasker going for 2 minutes on a cross-checking call. Thrown into the corner by Higdon, but Palliser gets it first. He'll clear the zone, and Beckering will chase this one for MK. Beckering just forced into the corner, gives it to Higdon. Coots collects. He's got Clark and Poole going to the net. Finds Poole there, and he gets the tip on that one. Holyhead coming up big once again. Higdon back to Beckering. Across to Clark. Clark loses that, gives it to Higdon. Higdon plays it just wide of the post. Higdon behind the net. Out there to Beckering. He gets the shot. Holyhead. And once again, Clark allowed to get the rebound there, but Holyhead coming up big, Fred.
Well, we don't know too much about 31 Holyhead, but man, in my estimation, he's proved himself already. He made 3 or 4 good saves there. As we look at this replay, puck has moved down low. And again, Higdon, team captain, will hit 34. Beckering just stepping into the slot, and there's one save. And right on the doorstep is 14 Clark, who gets 2 whacks at it. And again, nice saves there by goaltender Holyhead.
Right into the corner, picked up by Shewan. He's under pressure there, gives it to Chartrand. Chartrand clears the zone. Up against, but he loses the puck there as he was faced with Beckering there, and he plays it back for Pease. Doesn't reach him, and Coots will collect for MK. Cross ice, hoping to find Clark, too far for him, and we'll have an icing call with 13:38 remaining in the first period and 55 seconds remaining on the penalty to Michael Tasker.
Talking to the coaching staff before the game, you know, team captain number 12, Steve Chartrand, who's always been, as we know, Sparksy, a leading goal scorer, points getter in this league. he had a rough start this year. They had player changes coming in and out, and he found it hard to adapt. And now he's settled in with this A.J. Callum on his wing, and he's starting to play the hockey that he can. So they really want to see him hit top form in playoff hockey.
Clark now for Milton Keynes, drops for Coots. He's got Clark to the right, he'll find him. He just lets that run off the boards. A little bit too far for him to collect, and Coots gathers in the neutral zone. Sorensen, just pressurising him, takes the puck away. Cross ice, intercepted by Higdon. Back for Poole. Nick Poole allowed to walk in, sliding, gives it to Beckering. He loses that to Chartrand, who plays it up the wing to Sorensen. Sorensen now with a 1-on-2, just plays it back to Pease in the neutral zone. He'll just throw that in and easily collected by Armstrong. Solihull not really giving Milton Keynes the room to take any quality shots on this power play, Fred.
No, as I said, and when they do, you know, they've got Holyhead back there, but what Solihull is doing is they're forming the box in front of their own net nice and tight, but they've got a nice skating team. Even though they play in a small rink in Solihull, they got a good skating team, and they're very well coached by Paul Thompson of the Solihull Barons team here.
Wales allowed to walk through there, and unfortunately for him, defenseman gets a stick to that one. Pratchard throws it round, Holyhead stops, Pallister collects. Plays that one around the boards, that'll be collected by Randall, just throws it back around the back of the net for Wales. Picked up there by Dean Campbell. He's run into the boards by Tasker. In comes Pratchard. He'll play that off the side of the net, and Randall will collect once again. Off the boards, only as far as Kellum, but Ferry's there to keep it in, and it comes to Wales. Throws that into the corner. Randall will chase up against number 44, Shewan. Picked up by Tasker. He throws that round around the boards, only to the stick of Pratchard, who leads for Campbell. He ran into Pallister as he clears the zone, and Pratchard comes along to pick up the loose puck. End-to-end stuff here, Fred. The only quality shots really coming from the Milton Keynes side.
Yeah, Milton Keynes doing a good job right now. Solihull finding it hard to find their feet in this neutral zone. And again, Clark, Higdon all over the net right now and doing a fine job for MK, and they keep this pressure up. You know, sooner or later they're going to put one by Holyhead here. On the other side, I know Solihull, the Blaze, you know, maybe a little loosey-goosey coming in here, looking forward to the playoffs, but they can't just sit back on their heels. You know, they've got to apply some pressure to MK, because MK really come to play their last game in front of their home crowd. They really want to put on a performance.
So 11:28 remaining in the first period. Face off to the right-hand side of Holyhead. Nick Poole to take this one for Milton Keynes. He gets that back to Beckering on the point. He'll just throw that one in, easily sticked away there by Holyhead. Perry Doyle plays that up there. Ferry gets in the way of that one and finds Poole once again. Plays it back for Clark. He's allowed to walk in. Clark with a big shot there, and that took a deflection just wide of Holyhead and Solihull goal. Thrown back in by Clark. Clydes plays it round the boards, only as far as Irvine. Number 13, Bro there, forcing his way through, and Gary Clark's going to go for 2 minutes for hooking by the looks of it. And we're going to have a chance to have a look at the Solihull Blaze playoff power play now, Fred.
Yeah, and of course you're going to have Chartrand out there leading the way, number 12 again. You'll see the penalty here. Clark going to the box. He'll get 2 minutes for hooking. And again, Kloutman, as we know, you know, he's a no-nonsense type of guy. He'll call it as he sees it and keep a flow of the game. But again, we'll have Chartrand out here, and he'll be out here with Tasker, Klyes, Sherwin, and number 21, Blake Sorensen from Sweden.
So face-off just inside the Milton Keynes zone. 10:56 remaining in this first period. Klyes with it now. Just throws that in on goal. Easy glove hand save there for Gavin Armstrong. Reading in a magazine before the game there, Fred, Rob Coots really laying down the law now with his team, because over the weekend they played 2 games, had the leads, and then lost the games. And the same happened against Fife, which, of course, Fife won the lead from that game, but throwing away good leads and losing the game by 1 or 2 goals.
Yeah, and I think that comes down with depth and experience, you know, and Rob Coots, again, taking over that job from Mark Mackey. You know, he's got a big role to fill. So he obviously knows that, you know, you got to add some experience here, and they've been in a lot of close hockey games, and obviously they are on the bottom of the table, but right now they've got to look forward to next year and add that experience.
Shewan on the blue line, plays it across to Klyes, down to Tasker. Tasker just takes it up high, plays it across to Shewan once again. Back to Klyes. Solihull just passing the puck around well here, unfortunately not getting the scoring opportunities. Tasker with a shot, that's too high, and that hits Sorensen in the side, and Higdon's allowed to clear the zone.
One thing I'm really surprised at this power play, again, looking for the fancy pass, but Chartrand's out here, and the leading goal scorer, AJ Kellum, not even on the power play. So that's a surprise to me, Sparks. Usually you got your two snipers out there together sniffing that puck around the net, you know, for those loose pucks. But Paul Thompson, who has a good reputation, knows his coaching duties.
Shewan on the blue line, plays it down for Klyes. 49 seconds remaining on the penalty to Gary Clark as we see Chartrand with it in the corner. Back out to Klyes with a one-timer, the tip there from Sorensen. And we got Solihull Blaze going 1-0 ahead with 9:37 remaining here in the first period.
Well, Swedish boy, 21, Blake Sorensen, right on the doorstep. You see right here, Chartrand with the puck. Just throws it back to Klyes. He just fires it on net, and nice tip in by 21 Sorensen to put the Solihull Blaze in front 1-0.
So that goal scored by number 21 Sorensen, assisted by number 44 Mike Shewan, and second assist going to number 12 Steve Chartrand. Chartrand now with the puck. Just forced back to his own blue line. Plays it across to Peace. Peace there held up by Wales. He gets it back, gives it across to Pallister. Up to Sorensen. He's got Kellum with him, he finds him. Kellum takes the shot. Armstrong with the save. Kellum in the corner. He's got Chartrand in front, he'll find him. Chartrand just forced behind the net. Throws it out in front. Neither Kellum or Sorensen could get a stick to that one. But Sorensen gets there eventually and just throws it in, and that'll be covered up by Armstrong with 9:04 remaining here in the first period. It's at Milton Keynes 0, Solihull Blaze 1.
Armstrong covers up, and he has a hard time getting up. Hopefully there's no injury on that play. He looks like he's hurting there, Sparksy. Maybe holding a little injury. But one thing I notice again with Chartrand, number 12, he'll take the plate around this around this MK net, and he brings 2 or 3 guys with him, and then throws that puck over to the open man. And you know, you put a goal scorer on Chartrand's line, and they'll find a lot of space and time in front of that net. He finds those guys in the open all the time.
Face off deep in the Milton Keynes zone. Chartrand gets hold of that puck. Plays it back for Pallister with a one-timer. That goes in. In comes Sorensen there. He was brought down on a scoring opportunity. Kellum with a one-timer there. Unfortunately for him, Armstrong was up to that challenge. Pallister just throws that one round, and it's picked up by Ferry. Cross ice for Randall. Plays it through for Wales. He'll just backhand that one in, easily controlled by Holyhead. Tasker on the right wing. Beautiful move there on Bradshaw, and unfortunately for him, in comes Simon Ferry and he clears the zone. Bradshaw steals it off of Pallister and gives it to Paul. Back out to Higdon with the shot, saved by Holyhead. Bradshaw loses out to Tasker. He's got Coles to his left, 2-on-1 against Coots. He takes the shot, goes for the 5-hole there. Armstrong comes up with a save with 12 minutes gone in this first period.
Well, Coles was all open in the neutral zone. Tasker elected to carry the puck, and he actually took his own man out of the play. As we look here, Coles is breaking up the ice, and Tasker can't get him the puck. He elects to take it on his own, fires on net, and another save by Armstrong there. So he really took his man out of the play there, Sparksy. They had a 2-on-1 play if he would have made that original first headman pass, Coles.
So face off to the left-hand side of Armstrong and the Milton Keynes goal. That comes back to the point. Big shot by Shewan and a great save there by Armstrong, and Tasker couldn't pick up the rebound on that one. Bradshaw allowed to walk away now. Coles picks up the loose puck and gives it to Klyes. Klyes lucky to get that through, and unfortunately it goes to Paul. Nick Paul makes the move on his man, just throws it in front. Clark gets a tip. Once again, Holyhead comes up with the save. Solihull on the break here with a 4-on-2. Comes to Tasker. He takes a shot. Armstrong with a save. Puck's loose in front. No one there to pick it up apart from Nick Paul of the Kings. Paul down the left wing. He's got Clark in front. Just drops it for him. He plays that one back into the corner for Higdon. Back to Paul. Nick Paul, no one with him, plays it back into the corner for Higden and round to Clark. Clark now behind the goal, just drops it for Paul. He's allowed to walk out in front, throws it across for Clark. Unfortunately for him, Shewan's there with the big man on the right wing. Just throws that into the corner as both teams go for a line change. Ferry plays it off the boards only as far as Doyle. He throws that in front, brought away by Ferry. Stolen off him by number 5 there. Jake Armstrong with a big shot and one save. Fred, we've seen both goalies coming up with crucial saves.
Exactly right, Sparksy. Goaltenders are, they've been very impressive in this first 15 minutes of the first period, and Armstrong making some good saves on Solihull, stopped him from running up this score here so far in this first period.
Campbell forced beyond the goal by Pallister. Just takes that into the corner. Pallister runs him to the boards as Perry Doyle brings the puck away. He'll throw that one round. That's picked up by Kurt Irvine. He throws that in front. Back in front for Doyle. He couldn't connect with that one. Neither can Irvine, and Campbell comes away with it. Campbell just forced to go cross ice with this one. He'll throw that into the corner as his line goes for a change. Puck picked up by Bro. He just plays that one around the boards for Irvine. He plays it straight back again. Bro allowed to walk through, gets it to Irvine up on the blue line. He tries to play it through Coots, but the experienced defenseman there making the right move on that play. Irvine just tries to throw it back out in front, and Armstrong comes up with a save. With 5:28 remaining in the first period, it's Milton Keynes 0, Solihull 1.
Armstrong just hold on to the puck, and earlier in the action, we seen big Mark Pallister there taking the man out in the corner, and that's one thing about Solihull. You're looking at guys like Pallister, Perry Doyle, Jason Coles. These guys are all 6'4", 220 pounds, 15, 16 stone, Sparksy. So they're going to be leading the body out in the playoffs. And, they're big men, and Pops and the coach of the Blaze really want these guys playing physical out here.
Pratchard is allowed to walk away with this one. Tries to throw it cross ice, but Kellum gets a stick in the way of that one. He tries to find Chartrand, and that's intercepted by Clark, and it ends up with Coots. Higden just taps that into the middle. That's intercepted by Pease. Pease just bangs that off the glass, and that'll go into the corner. Pratchett fires it round the boards. That's stopped by Kellum. Throws it back down low for Chartrand. Sorensen back out to Kellum, and Armstrong getting to stick in the way of that one. Kellum in the corner to Chartrand. He walks that out in front. Sorensen couldn't get his stick to that one, and Higden brings it away for the Milton Keynes. Paul, as Clark goes to the net, he's held up by Pease just inside the zone. Pease now with his own puck, plays it through to Kellum. Cross to Pease. Pease there tries to drop it for Sorensen. If he just left it for him in the first place, it could have been 2-0. Higden now across to Clark with a tip, and a good goal there by the Milton Keynes Kings. But a bad breakdown there by the Solihull Blaze.
Bad, one too many passes. Down, Solihull goes down, but on the transition, MK come back. You see right here, Pratcher throws it off the boards up to the prolific goal scorer, 18, Higden. He breaks out on the left side, and on this instant play, he makes the play over to Clark, 14, right on the post, who just fires it over the shoulder there of Hollyhead, makes it 1-1. But Sparksy, the reason for that quick transition, 4 players in Solihull got caught for overpassing in front of Armstrong.
Pallister just throws that one into the corner. Confirmation of that goal scored by number 14, Gary Clark, assisted by 18, Derek Higden, and number 44, Rob Coots. Solihull now applying some more pressure with Coles now. He's just forced back to the blue line. He backhands that one down low for number 22, Nate Leslie. Around to Tasker. He's forced off the puck by Beckering, and is played up the wing for Wales. He loses out. Tasker with it now. Tasker allowed to take the shot. That just goes wide of Armstrong. Leslie just forced it back into the corner. Coles goes to hit Ferry and goes down on the ice by himself. Randall just floats that one into the corner. Wales will collect this one for the Kings. Pallister just runs him into the boards. He's hurt on that play. Pallister really throwing the body around on this one.
Yeah, Pallister playing the body there, Sparksy. But, come on, pick on the tough guys. This Michael Wales, Muzz as we call him, he come out of the junior program at Guildford. He's only 18 years old. And you see the kid here with a full face mask. He had a tryout in Canada last year. But as I said, Pally going over and giving him a tap and saying, welcome to the BNL. But, there's no need to run a kid from behind.
So we'll have a face-off just outside the Solihull Blaze zone with 3:23 remaining on the first period. The score's Milton Keynes 1, Solihull 1. So we'll see the young British line here of Tasker. He'll be centering number 22, Leslie, and number 33, Coles, up there as the big veteran there.
Well, Coles, who normally plays defense, they've got him playing the wing because they're short of wingers, and he just fits into that role nicely. Again, good size there, and he's got a good shot.
Team captain Higdon tries to throw that across. That's intercepted by Clyde. He's allowed to walk in. He finds Tasker with the shot. Armstrong with the save, and everyone's trying to get a rebound in there, and a little bit of pushing and shoving after the whistle, but that'll come to nothing. Fred, you mentioned earlier on Pallister, Doyle, Coles, people like that. How intimidating is that going to be going into the playoffs?
Well, as we see on this replay here, you just see a shot going to the net, and big guys like Cole, as you were talking to, crashing to the net and playing it physical. And obviously in the playoffs, those guys are going to be a key, Sparksy, because you play it rough and tumble in their own building. People are going to hesitate, and when people hesitate, they don't play their game. And that's what Paul Thompson expects from these big guys, as I said earlier. So, but if they're, out there lollygagging, if you like, trying to play hockey and, not playing the man, then they're not an asset to their team. They're not 6'4", 220 pounds for nothing. They're not in the lineup, to play finesse hockey, if you like. So their role is strictly taking the man and playing it aggressive.
Which is exactly what you need in the playoffs, because it is a season within a season, and it's a totally different hockey from the normal league.
That's right, brand new season, and again, a very aggressive one.
Armstrong coming up with another save there as we enter the final 3 minutes of this first period. But Fred, it was to say there's been a lot of shots, but not a lot of quality ones, but the goalie's playing good hockey, but we've seen a lot of... Their position in the league doesn't justify the way they're playing tonight, because there's some really nice hockey being played.
That's so right. When we look at these teams here, they both got, a lot of good players. I mean, there's 4 or 5 guys that played in the Super League last year. So the quality is out here, whether or not, coaching or whatever have you, problems they've had, it just hasn't added up for these teams this year.
Holyhead coming up with a save once again there. Irvine just throws that cross ice. Unfortunately, no one's there to pick it up apart from Pratcher. He'll find Higdon on the left wing. He's allowed to walk in, and good defending there as Clark grabs it now. Clark walks in, takes a shot, glove hand save by Holyhead. Rebound by Higdon, that just goes wide. Irvine just plays it behind for Clyde. He's allowed to walk out, and he's forced back behind his own goal. Clyde tripped up there, and Campbell comes in and steals the puck, but as we see, number 19, Nick Paul, he's going to go 2 minutes for tripping on that play.
Yeah, Clyde's had 2 steps on Poole, and Poole throws the stick out, and he'll get called for 2 minutes for tripping. You see right here, Poole gets beat, Sparksy, right here, forgets to skate, hucks him down, and he'll get 2 minutes here. And there's a player who played for Manchester in the Super League, and he generates a lot of speed, a lot of offense out here, especially through the neutral zone, and he's a key player for Milton Keynes. So he'll sit in the box here with 2:08 left, Sparksy, and Solly will have a power play here in the last 2 minutes of this hockey game, or period.
Chartrand through the center. He's got Sorensen behind him. Tasker goes to the net. He's brought down. Coots in the corner. Sorensen back out to the point. Shewan over the Clydes. Down to Tasker. Back out to Shewan. He'll be allowed to shoot there, and Armstrong coming up with a save, and Chartrand there just poking away for a rebound, but great defending there by the Kings.
Yeah, great defending. Beckering, give him a rope. He was all over Chartrand. As soon as they see number 12, they get hands, sticks, everything all over him. So that's what it's like when you're a prolific goal scorer. They've got your number.
Chartrand just walks in. He has that knocked off his stick, but he picks the puck up once again. Cross to Shewan. Back to Clyde. He couldn't control. He tried to do it with his skate, and Randall has it now. He'll just fling that one into the zone, and Holyhead collects that one. Clyde through the neutral zone. Just walks that one in. He's got Tasker behind him. He'll just throw that into the corner, and Sorensen will chase. Coots gets there first, plays it round straight to the stick of Chartrand, and out to Shewan. Back to Kleiss. Chartrand in the corner. He's got Pasca calling for it. Plays it out to Schuhen with a one-timer and a great save. Dan Pratcho's a set 3-on-2 break here for the Milton Keynes. Offside call with 37 seconds remaining in the first period.
Yeah, Derek Higdon tried to get the jump there. You know, again, killing this penalty. So he tried to get the jump on the offense, and it didn't happen for him. You know, as you guys mentioned earlier in the show here, he's the team leader. Played for Slough for many years. Started his career off in Bracknell. You know, he must find it really disappointing after the last few seasons with Slough, you know, leading that team in scoring as he is here. But, you know, a championship team in Slough, you know, Sparksy, and now playing for a bottom place club. Must find it very frustrating.
Schuhen now for Solihull. Up the middle for Kellum. He's got Coles behind him. Kellum just stops on the balls, finds Coles. He takes the shot, blocker save there. Armstrong down low. That's deflected high and over the goal. Final 10 seconds of this period. And the Milton Keynes Kings are now back to full strength. Round the board to Poole. He's got Clark up the middle, he plays it through, and that'll bring up the end of the first period. We've seen 6 minutes and penalties and 2 goals, a lot of passing, some great saves. Join us for the second period.
Gavin and Black. Yeah, that sounds really good. What, and you reckon you've got some in stock today?
Excellent. That's great. I'll take one. Hang on a sec, mate, will you? Yeah, just last week. Listen, I'm going to have to go. I'll call you back later on and organise it with you then. Bye. No annual fee, a cashback bonus award, and more. The Morgan Stanley Dean Witter card. Has your credit card just expired?
For less than £5 a month, NTL can bring you a phone that charges national calls at our local rates. 8 extra TV channels via the wonders of cable, and internet access for just £0.01 a minute. Whereas BT charges you twice that for just a phone service. So for a package that's got the lot, call NTL now on 0800 183 1234. NTL, technology tamed.
The British National League Game of the Week, brought to you by NTL, the complete communications company, and Morgan Stanley Dean Witter.
And welcome back for second period action of this game between the Milton Keynes Kings and the Solihull Blaze. After the first 20 minutes, it's Milton Keynes 1, Solihull 1.
Shots on net there, Sparksy. 9 on Armstrong and 19 on Holyhead in the Solihull net. So MK pretty busy, just couldn't put the puck past Holyhead there, but a good first period overall.
See Coots with it now for Milton Keynes. He throws that one round the boards. That'll be collected by Poole. He loses out to Schuhen, and who's in front of the net but Chartrand to tip it in the top corner.
Stevie Chartrand, you know, this guy's been with Solihull for 6-7 years, their leading goal scorer, and he makes no mistake on this one. 33 games, 29 games. Let's make that 30 goals and 34. He stands in that slot, and number 44, Schuhen, Mike Schuhen, you know, he just rifles that towards net, and Stevie Chartrand just tips that home.
So with only 18 seconds gone in this first period, Solihull Blaze now 2-1 up through Steve Chartrand, with the assist going to number 44, Mike Schuhen. Puck in the neutral zone with Kellum now. He'll play that back to Pease. Pease just tries to tap that through, straight to the stick of Poole though, and he throws it cross ice for Justin Beckering. Up the middle for Higdon. He couldn't collect that, and Pease does. He plays it straight to the sticker. Nick Poole, he's forced in the corner, and Pease steals the puck off him. Pease now down the right wing, throws it cross ice for Kellum. That evades every stick, and icing's waved off as Coots collects. Higdon just taps that into the centre ice, and Pease collects for Solihull. Tries to play to the cross for Kellum, but Clark gets those big size 12s in the way of that one, and the zone is cleared.
Well, Sparks, is Solihull, who've come in tonight's game with a bad reputation on dirty hockey, and that came down from the chief referee, Bob Brammer. And, you know, talking to Paul Thompson, he doesn't think his team is dirty. He just wants them to play physical, hard hockey, and he says his team is going to do that in the playoffs.
See Coles with it now. He'll just take that across the blue line as he's forced to the boards. Clydes comes in for support, plays it in front there for Irvine. Irvine can't quite find Tasker. He does in the end, and Coles in front there. He couldn't pull the trigger. Ferry with some great defending there as Coots takes it now through the neutral zone. Coots throws it cross ice for Randall. He walks in, puts it in the bottom corner, and a beautiful goal there by the young Brit.
Yeah, Randall, former Guildford Flame, makes no mistake on that one. But that play generated because Coach Rob Coots right here generates some speed through this neutral zone, hits the line, puts on the brakes, and makes a nice pass to Randall, speeding down that left side. You see Randall here fake to the backhand, go back to the forehand, slide along the ice, and he beats Holyhead, the former Telford Tiger, right along the stick side there, Sparksy, to make it 2-2.
So 2 minutes gone in this second period. We've had 2 goals. That second one there tying the scores up at 2 apiece. And that goal going to number 13, Randall, with the assist to number 44, Rob Coots. Beckering in the corner with it now. Plays it up the wing for Campbell. He just plays that off the board straight to the stick of Pratchett. Pratchett just taps that through. No one can collect that one apart from Mark Pallister of the Blaze. Big Pally just makes his way into the neutral zone. He finds Leslie on the right wing. He throws that into the far corner. Tasker gets to that one. Loses out and Campbell grabs it now. Campbell taken to the boards by Coles as Pallister collects a loose puck and throws it cross ice. Pratchett for the Kings. Just tries to float that into the middle. It goes straight to the stick of Clydes, who plays it straight to Irvine. Irvine leaves that one behind, goes back and collects it, but loses out to Beckering. Campbell tries to throw that one cross ice. That's intercepted by number 5, Jake Armstrong. He just bangs that off the boys, and it comes straight to Beckering. Ferry. Bad pass across ice, and that's intercepted by Blaze as they clear the zone. And we'll have an icing call with 16:41 to go in the second period. It's Milton Keynes 2, Solihull 2.
Yeah, and one of the reasons why Solihull come with this reputation, they've got Irvine, who's after 30 games, 156 penalty minutes, and Perry Doyle, after 30 games, 119 penalty minutes. So 16 Irvine, you know, the second leading penalty getter in this league. And, you know, he's told to stick to hockey here instead of goon hockey from his coach. And this is a reputation they want to get their hockey club away from.
So face off to the left-hand side of Holyhead as Coots just throws that into the corner. Irvine bangs that one off the boards. Picked up by Bro. He just throws that in, and Armstrong has to tip that one into the corner as Higdon gets there. Up to Paul. He plays that off the boards, and once again that's picked up by number 13, Dom Bro. Up the wing for Doyle. He just tries to force that through. He loses out to Nick Paul. Cross ice to Clark. Gary Clark in the corner just throws it across there, and Nick Paul. How that puck got through so many sticks, Red, I don't know, but who's there to tap it away for Nick Paul?
Yeah, number 14, Clark, makes a nice play. You see here the pass comes across to 14, who has his head up. You see he takes a look, stops, throws the puck right across through 3 Solihull players, right on number 19, Pool's stick, and he just makes no mistake there, Sparksy, to put MK up 3-2 in the second period.
So 16:05 to go in the second period. Nick Paul getting the go-ahead goal there for the Milton Keynes Kings, assisted by number 14, Gary Clark. Beckering mistimes that pass. It comes to Pallister. Cross ice for Kellum. He's got Sorensen in front, finds him, puts that wide as Armstrong knocks the goal off its moorings, and we'll have a face-off deep inside the Kings zone.
So the players really opened up, you know, both teams sticking to hockey. As we see this replay here, Solihull Pallister breaks it up in the neutral zone, throws it across, and Sorensen just couldn't finish the play there as the net comes off its moorings. And this guy here adds a lot of speed on the Chartrand Kellum line. So that's the top unit out here for the Solihull Blaze.
So face off to the right-hand side of Armstrong. Paul and Chartrand face off against each other. Paul gets that into the corner. That's picked up by Clark. He gives that one to Coots. Plays it up for Higdon. He gets a stick to that one. Icing cool, and we'll have a face-off back down deep in the King's zone with 15:39 to go in the second period.
See Higdon just break it through the neutral zone along the board, finish. That's what they rely on. Ice time out here behind the net, and looks for that long pass through the three lines, the blue line and the red line there, and usually looking past that didn't happen to Higdon there.
Chartrand gets that back to Pallister. He takes it, tipped away by Arm. Puts that one back in. Couldn't go to that one, up to Clark through the neutral. Clark there as Higdon's judged to be offside, and we'll have a face just outside the...
Yeah, Pallister and Pease doing a fine job there on the defensive side to really hold up the play and force MK to go offside there. But these two line sparks, you've seen a lot of ice time so far. The two import lines going head to head here.
So once again, for the third time this shift, Chartrand will face off against Paul. As that pouts that into the... Beckering getting the better of that one. Paul to Higdon, off the boards, only as far as Pallister, just inside the neutral zone. Across to Kellum. He takes the shot, that's deflected high and wide. Kellum with the rebound there, and that just goes wide once again. Higdon clears the zone. And we'll have an icing call with 14:59 remaining in the second period. It's Milton Keynes 3, Solihull 2.
Still a lot of pressure, you know, from Solihull. Even though they're down a goal here, you know, Sparksy, they've still got a good breakout. You know, they still break the puck out very nicely. They support each other. The penalty trouble all year plays and play out of that sin bin.
On the net, and Chartrand has it now. He tries to get out in front for Kellum, and away comes Randall with it now. Up to Pratcher, he loses out to Clydes. Randall collects in the neutral zone. Randall just holds off his man and plays it back to Coots. Over to Pratcher, he just one-times that into the corner, and that'll be easily collected by number 17, Campbell. He misses actually and gives it to Pallister. Up to Kellum, over to Chartrand. He's got Sorensen with him. Chartrand takes the shot himself. Blocker save there by Armstrong, and we'll have a face-off deep in the King's zone with 14:17 to go in the second period.
There he is, the sniper there. Number 12, always dangerous when he has the puck. Just caressing the puck through the neutral zone, always head up. He sees two players standing in front of the net, and he goes high to the blocker side, and Armstrong makes a good save there. But Sparksy, what an important game for MK. You know, they win tonight. As we know, Guildford's beating Paisley right now 6-1. You know, MK win tonight. They could tie Paisley here, and you know, a win tomorrow, they could move ahead of Paisley and get off bottom spot in this league.
Coots just fires that one in. That comes off Schuen and into the corner. Peace tries to collect, but Schuen gets there in the end. Leslie cut across him, but Schuen brings it himself. Finds Leslie in the end. Tries to find Schuen, he does, and it comes down to Tasker in the corner. He loses out to Randall, who plays that off the boards and is picked up by Pratcher. Pratcher now as Campbell goes towards the goal. He takes the shot. Holyhead sort of just diverted that one, but he was lucky that didn't bounce into his own goal. Cross ice for Leslie. Back to Pease. Pease there plays it through for Leslie. He's held back, and Armstrong just tips into the corner. Cole's losing out as Paul grabs it there and makes a beautiful move there on Michael Tasker, but Leslie keeps it inside the zone. Paul comes away with it, up to Higdon. Fakes the shot, plays it through the middle there, through the legs of Holyhead, and all Clark had to do was get a stick to it, but unfortunately just too far ahead for him to do anything with.
I didn't think Clark, he probably thought the pass wouldn't get through, but what a nice play by Poole and Higdon.
Paul once again, back out to Coots. He takes the shot, that bounces awkwardly, and Holyhead somehow gets his pads behind that one.
Well, the game is really opened up now. A lot of the defensive capabilities that Solihull have, they're losing them, and you see MK just running ragged here. Poole, the danger man with the puck, you know, just goes to the point man, and Coots just slides it again to the net. And again, Holyhead's got to stay on his toes there and jumps on that puck, and Coots, the player coach, again holding a lot of ice time out here, doing a fine job for Milton Keynes right now.
Well, it's like you were saying earlier on, Fred, about the, you know, the bad press and the, you know, the speculation that, you know, Solihull is such a dirty team, but I haven't seen anything of that tonight, Fred.
No, I know exactly. maybe with the word coming down from Bob Brammer, maybe referees, you know, they just, the way Solihull play, the image they have, like the big guys like Pellister and that, and their own rink, referees maybe tend to outlook at this team like, hey, these guys are big and aggressive and we got to watch them all the time. And maybe it's just an image that they're carrying right now. But no, you're right. There hasn't been any dirty play. And but they're behind the 8 ball right now, 3-2 in this hockey game.
Face off now to the left-hand side of Holyhead in the Solihull goal. Chartrand and Paul to face off against each other. That comes back to the point for Coots. Coots back to Higdon. He winds up with a shot and that just deflects high, and Holyhead didn't see that coming. Chartrand tries to play it through Higdon. He gets in the way and just throws that back into the corner. Pallister up the middle, hoping to find Chartrand. Coots read that one well and intercepts. Coots and Paul combining well here as Paul comes away with it once again. He takes the shot and a blocker save there by Holyhead, and Chartrand clears the zone. Icing's waved off as Coots collects this one for the Kings. He's got Garrett Clark to the left. Throws it cross ice to Higdon. He couldn't get his stick to it. And we'll have an icing call in the face-off deep in the Kings zone to the left-hand side of Armstrong.
As I mentioned earlier, Sparks, you see Coots going for that long pass through the 3 zones, looking for Higdon or Poole, and it's just not happening. And obviously the linesman right on top of that. When that puck goes through the 3 zones, you know, that's an icing call. And we'll have a face-off to the right-hand side of Armstrong here.
We haven't seen a lot of Chartrand tonight, the skills that we know he's got, but saying that, I mean, he's been involved in both goals so far. He's got a goal and an assist. So.
And that's how he plays, Sparks. Sometimes you don't notice him out there, and then you get the score sheet, and he's got like 2 or 3 goals and 2 or 3 assists.
Pallister with a shot. That hits Chartrand as he comes around to try and collect. Higdon gets there. Throws it cross ice, hoping to find Paul, but Kellum gets in the way of that one. And plays it to Sorensen. Up the middle for Chartrand, couldn't get his stick to that, and we'll have another icing call with 11:34 to go in this second period. Everyone seems to be looking for the long pass, Fred, and there's been a lot of great passing, and the shots haven't really been of the quality you'd expect.
I think what's happening, Sparks, in Milton Keynes' situation, why they're going for the long pass, they're only going with 2 lines, and the support from the back, the forwards are just too far ahead, and the support from the back is not catching up because they're so tired. Guys like Coots have, you know, out of 30 minutes in the hockey game, he's already played, you know, 20, 25 minutes. So, you know, that support's got to get closer together. And again, passing through 3 zones looking for the dream pass isn't going to happen all the time. Whereas on Solihull, in their case, there's no excuse for them. They're running 3 lines. They got a full bench here, and they've got the players that can play with one another out here as far as talent goes.
Pallister now on the right side. Plays that up for Irvine. He throws that into the corner, and that'll be chased down as Randall gets there first. He plays that one round, and Armstrong gets there. Plays it back into the corner. Doyle couldn't get there. Campbell chases now. He's got Armstrong on him. Plays it round Pallister as Pratchett has it now, and he tries to play it back to Beckering, but Armstrong gets in the way of that one. Ferry just floats that one into the corner, and that's picked up by Clise. Hacken Clise allowed to walk away with it here as he dipsy doodles in his own zone. Clise up the wing to Irvine, tries to collect that on his skates and kicks it on. Randall plays that one into the far corner as Doyle goes up against Ferry, and that's played back into the corner by Pallister. Irvine going up against Clark there as Armstrong just throws it back round. Irvine tries to play it out in front. Beckering gets in the way of that one, and Campbell has it now. He clears the zone, but only to the stick of Armstrong. That one's just thrown round, and Armstrong couldn't collect that one, but Beckering does now. Beckering for the Kings, throws it across and finds Ferry. He takes the big shot, that's turned away by Holyhead. Played round the boards by Schuin. Off the boards there as Higdon tries to stop it, he does, plays it in, but straight back to the stick of Schuin. Solihull under a little bit of pressure here, just can't clear the zone.
Solihull just really can't get, because MK doing a lot of good skating here, and this line of Higdon, Poole, and Clark tense on the fortune. Poole, and again, night tonight in for MK.
Clark now on the left wing. He's got on that pass. Poole gets there. Nick Poole allowed to walk up high with it, just throws it down low. No one's there to pick it up apart from Michael Tasker. Leslie tries to clear the Tasker across. No one's to pick it up apart from Coots. Puck played round into the neutral zone, and Pease. Leslie tries to find Tasker, he doesn't. It comes out to Pease. 8:57 remaining in the second period. Pole's battle for the Poole comes away with it. He's got Clark, just Holyhead taps it into the corner. See Randall up there on the far blue line. He couldn't collect the pass, and Holyhead gets there. Plays it straight back to Randall, and Holyhead just plays it back out once again. A lot of passing, a lot of skating, but nothing happening, Fred.
No, just everything through the neutral zone, although I think MK have been really taking the tempo to Solihull. And again, you just see them with going through this two-line routine here and really putting the pressure on Solihull. Solihull just cannot find their feet out here, not connecting with the passes right now.
Sorensen tries to find Chartrand. Sorensen once again. Drops for Chartrand. He's got Kellum with him. Kellum with it now. Throws it back out for Kleiss. He takes the shot, that's deflected high and out of the playing surface, and we'll have a face-off just inside the Milton Keynes zone with 7:42 remaining here in the second period.
See Kleiss, number 8. This fella played with Basingstoke last year. Good signing for Solihull. Paul Thompson really happy with his work ethic this year, and a player that they can rely on power play and defensive opportunities, and he's been a good addition to the signing of the Solihull Blaze.
Randall facing off against a veteran Chartrand. Chartrand getting the better of that one. Forced away by Greg Randall. And Pease plays it down. Comes back to Pallister. Plays that one off the boards, hoping to find Sorensen. It comes to Randall, who finds Beckering. Coots to Beckering. Up the middle there for Dean Campbell as it comes to Chartrand. He tries to find Sorensen. Beckering getting in the way of that one as MK come on the break. Campbell then makes the move on Kleiss, takes the shot as Holyhead comes out, and if he just waited that few seconds, he could have taken it round Holyhead.
Yeah, Holyhead making another save, but you know, watching the play here, you see Beckering makes a nice pass up to 17, and right here, he just makes a nice stop. Campbell beats his defenseman, Kleiss, and then just tries to go up high, and again, Holyhead makes a save. But I noticed with the Solihull defense, where they're weak is they back right in. And they've got to step up and get the forwards to come back and help out, because that seems to be Solihull's weakness. Their defensemen back right into the play.
Chartrand in the corner. Plays it up for Kellum. Ferry keeps that one in as it comes to Poole. He loses out to Chartrand as he comes through the middle. Chartrand winds up with a shot, turned away by Armstrong. Kellum goes for the rebound, but Milton Keynes players lying all over the ice.
See Chartrand there with deceptive speed, just picks the pocket Poole, and again, you give that guy an inch on the ice and he'll make you pay for it.
Chartrand just tries to find Sorensen in front, but Beckering intercepts and clears the zone. Pallister chases it back to his own zone and stops behind his own goal. Sorensen plays it off the pause, hoping Kleiss to go for it. He doesn't. Clark plays it back in. No players could collect that one as icing's waved off. Fred, something you mentioned there, I noticed the way Solihull are playing, they really should be upping their tempo, you know, coming into the playoffs, but they don't seem to be doing that.
No, just playing a lackadaisical game right now. Like I said, maybe a little too loosey-goosey. They should be getting ready for the playoffs and play it the way they are. You know, like next weekend's their first playoff game. They should be playing like that and getting ready for it. But as you say, you know, here's MK in last place overall, and they're, you know, with 2 lines, really doing a job on Solihull right now.
Poole just bats that one out the air and takes it away. Drops for Clark. He makes his move. No one's there to pick it up. Holyhead just clears his zone. Pease Through the neutral zone, takes it through the middle, just dipsy-doodling through everybody here as he goes coast to coast. Can't take the shot, and Armstrong has to jam his leg on that one with 5:21 remaining in the second period. It's Milton Keynes 3, Solihull 2.
Well, Armstrong really not seeing a lot of action there and just holding up on his post makes a good save, whereas the action has been on Holyhead majority of the time there, Sparksy. But this young goalie, you know, he's done a good job here for MK tonight. And as you said, sometimes stats do not tell the story, the whole story. And, you know, usually with weaker teams, you know, you get shot, 50, 60 shots a game on you. It takes its toll over the season.
Dan Pratcher now in his own zone. Just walks out with that one and comes through the middle. Pratcher tries to make the move on Pease, but he's wide to that one. Randall turns around and whips that one in. Saved by Holyhead. Pratcher throws it across the face. Coots gets it on the blue line. That's deflected up high, and we'll have a face-off deep inside the Kings zone. Sorry, the Solihull zone.
You see Randall just doing a 360 there and just letting one rip there, Sparksy. And that's where you catch the goalie off guard. He really doesn't know where it's coming from. And this kid here, obviously, with the Guildford Flames last year, you know, a boy from Kent who's come through British ice hockey and, in my estimation, still a fine hockey player.
Coots plays it across for Pratcher. He finds Campbell. He's held off there by Shewan as Pease gets it up ice, only as far as Randall. He's forced into the corner. Randall makes a nice move there on Pease and gets it to Campbell, but he's forced into the far corner. Pease being thrown all over the place here by these two young British players. Comes out to the point for Ferry. He just bats that one in only as far as Armstrong. And he plays it up for Irvine. Coots gets in the way of that one. Pease tries to play that off the boards. He actually plays it out of the rink, and we'll have a face-off in the neutral zone with 4:13 remaining in the second period.
Well, some good work by the second unit of Pratcher playing center between the two British boys, and they'll go off and get a line change, and we'll have the two import lines come out again, and they'll face each other here with 4:13 left in this second period here, Sparksy. And again, 3-2. Milton Keynes going to be really happy to this point in time in the hockey game.
So Nick Paul will face off against Steve Chartrand round about the neutral zone area. He gets that back to Clyde. Clyde's losing out to Paul there. In comes Chartrand to steal the puck. Gets it up to Sorensen. He winds up. Glove hand safe there by Armstrong. Higdon just bats that one out. That floats back down to the Solihull end, and we'll have an icing call with 3:55 to go.
3:55 in this second period. So we look at the linesman there, bring the puck all the way down the left-hand side of Armstrong. And Solihull, as you see right here, Sorensen just lets go a rocket, and Armstrong comes way out of his net, cuts down his angle, not only makes the stop, but clears the puck in his own corner. And good young goaltender there, Sparksy.
Puck ends up in the corner. Sorensen can't get it. It comes out to Pallister. He takes the shot, turned away by the stick of Armstrong and into the neutral zone. Clyde collects. Akin Clyde's up the middle for Chartrand. He tips it for Sorensen, but Beckerin plays that off the boards, and we got a two-line call.
We see Higdon on the breakout there, trying to force Clyde, who doesn't make no mistake, just throwing it right up to Chartrand. And Chartrand, I noticed, uses number 21 Sorensen a lot. He goes to that left side, and Sorensen, playing on his off wing, likes to one-time that puck.
So face off now, Chartrand against Paul. Paul wins that one and gets it back to Beckery. Up the middle for Paul, that bounces over his stick, and Clyde has it now. He throws that one into the corner. Chartrand will collect this puck. Bounces over his stick, and Sorensen gets it. Plays it back into the corner. Beckering tries to check Kellum, and he evades that check and comes away with it. Takes the shot, and Armstrong with a swing up big there to Paul. Evades all this, straight to Coots in the neutral zone. His pass intercepted. Pallister to Kellum. It comes to Chartrand. Chartrand losing out on the blue line there, and Clark collects. Fred, this Solihull team looks tired, even though they're going with 3 lines.
Yeah, well, this is the line right here that'll do the damage. And they seem to be, as you said, they seem to be right now. They're really not kicked in, but forcing the Solihull defense to turn over here and really getting a lot of better chances in this period. Than
collects on the Tasker, just drops that for Kellum. Leslie, there, and Tasker comes in for support, but Ferry just strong enough to hold off the 2 of them. And we'll have a face-off deep inside the Kings zone with 1:58 remaining here in the second period.
MK doing all the little things right now, winning those one-on-one battles along the boards, and you look at the Solihull bench, and as you say, Sparksy, maybe a little bit tired. They got another match tomorrow night, as do MK, and they'll end their season out and probably go in that playoff pool against Slough, Basingstoke, and Guildford. So they'll have their work cut out for them, but I'm sure that they'll be a never-say-die hockey team in the playoffs.
Big shot from Shewan from the point, but turned away by the stick of Armstrong once again. That puck's played round the board. Shewan will try and kick this one, and he does. He throws that in on net, and Armstrong comes out and plays it out. But there's Pease with a big shot, and Leslie there battling away for the rebound, but Ferry holding him off well. Pratchett comes away with it now for the Kings. Beckering goes to net, he throws that across, and Holyhead comes up with a big save there. With the speed that Pratchett showed there, Fred, and not bad for an old boy.
Yeah, he doesn't have the speed he used to have, but he's still plodding along here, and he throws it, picks up speed right through the neutral zone here, comes down on the far side. You see Blues right here, just can't finish the check. And Pratchett, again, as you say, making a nice play. But that's where the defense is Solihull. James Pease has got to force the forwards outside there. You can't keep backing in on your goaltender. And giving MK too much room to walk into the net. That's right there.
Pratchett with a beautiful goal there. Fake the pass out in front and puts it through the 5-hole.
Well, Sparksy, no defenseman between Armstrong and Pratchett. Where's the defense on that play? As you look here, Pratchett walks out all alone. You know, the defenseman, Hughes, backs up. Pratchett makes no mistake on through the 5-hole. You've got to force, you got to go to the defenseman and force him to make the play. You can't let him walk in, you can't back off him. And that's what the defensemen are doing for Solihull.
So Pratchett getting the 4th goal here for the Kings with 1:17 to go here in the second period. Just allowed to walk out of the corner and place it through the legs of Holyhead. Hacken-Clive walks in, and we have a delayed offside on that call, and we'll have a face-off just outside the Kings zone. Fred, now this is, I'm afraid that Solihull just aren't playing like a team that are about to enter the playoffs.
Well, you look at AJ Kellum right there, and you're right. You know, these are leading goal scorers, him and Chartrand. You know, Kellum with 30 goals in 30 games, 63 points. He hasn't, you know, I haven't heard you mention his name that much at all tonight. And exactly, they don't, either Sparksy, they're playing a little timid because they don't want to carry any injuries over to the playoffs. Let's hope that's the reason. But, you know, anytime you step on the ice, you got to play your best hockey, and Solihull's not doing that right now. But all effort, all credit to Milton Keynes, because they're putting on a good performance in front of their home crowd.
Ferry just plays that around his man, and he's going to still hold off Sorensen there to come away with the puck. Ferry just plays it up to Beckering. He throws that across, home to find Randall, but Pallister gets in the way of that one. Chartrand drops for Kellum. He plays it through, hoping to find Chartrand, but he got held up en route to the goal. As we enter the final 30 seconds of the second period, Solihull applying some late pressure. Chartrand just forced to walk along the blue line, plays it down low. Sorensen tries to get there. Plays it back out to Clive on the point. Hacken-Clive there, just holds off 2 men and still comes away with it. Plays it across to Sorensen. He throws that one across, that's deflected behind the goal. Into the corner, Randall will clear the zone. And we'll have an icing call with only 3.6 seconds remaining here in the second period. So we'll have a face-off to the right-hand side of Armstrong and the Kings goal. As I say, with only 3.6 seconds remaining here in this second period. Chartrand will try and drop this one for Clive to get the quick shot away. Gets it back, but only to stick of Ferry. And that'll bring up the end of the second period. So after 40 minutes, the score stands Milton Keynes 4, Solihull 2. Join us for more action in the third.
That's it. I've had enough.
No annual fee, a cashback bonus award, and more.
Seems to have done the trick.
The Morgan Stanley Dean Witter card. Has your credit card just expired?
For less than £5 a month, NTL can bring you a phone that charges national calls at our local rates. 8 extra TV channels via the wonders of cable, and internet access for just £0.01 a minute. Whereas BT charges you twice that for just a phone service. So for a package that's got the lot, call NTL now on 0800 183 1234. NTL, technology tamed.
The British National League Game of the Week, brought to you by NTL, the complete communications company, and Morgan Stanley Dean Witter.
And welcome back for third period action here at the Milton Keynes ice rink. After 2 periods, we've got Milton Keynes leading the Solihull Blaze 4-2.
And we know where all the action has been, 29 shots on Holyhead and 21 on Armstrong. So Milton Keynes with the better period there to go 4-2 up after 2 periods. And if they could keep this momentum up, they'll tie momentum up. They'll tie Paisley for 11 points on the bottom spot here. So good first and second period by Milton Keynes so far in this game.
Shewan tries to find Kellum up the middle there. That pass intercepted, and Paul now with it. Drops it for Higdon, that's intercepted, and Sorensen comes away. Finds Kellum. Kellum with the big shot, that just goes wide of Armstrong and the Kings goal. Sorensen loses out there and Clark comes away. He finds Paul. Nick Paul just takes that one into the corner and behind the net. Plays down front for Clark, couldn't get a stick to that one. And Kellum comes away for the Solihull Blaze. Big shot, that just hits the upright. Armstrong didn't see that one coming. Chartrand now all alone. Plays it through for Kellum, that's intercepted by Coots. Chartrand gathers it once again. Takes a shot, blocker saved by Armstrong. Chartrand once again. Forced into the corner by Coots, and it comes out to Shewan on the point. He takes a shot. Easy glove hand save there for Armstrong with only 1:06 gone in this third period.
See Chartrand all around Armstrong, who makes another save, and he's finding the puck bouncing around, and that line just not clicking tonight. And they find it very frustrating that they can't put the puck behind Armstrong here. On the other hand, Milton Keynes doing a fine job, and the Randall line will come out here with Thrasher, who does a lot of work on the forecheck. And this is their second unit. And they've played some good hockey in the first 2 periods, this second line for the Milton Keynes Kings.
Armstrong with a shot in his namesake there. Armstrong coming up with a big glove hand save on that play. Hacken Clydes back in his own zone, tries to play off the boards, that hits Pratcher in the shin pads. Clydes picks it up once again. Up to Perry Doyle. To Irvine. He just throws that into the corner. That'll be collected by Armstrong. Doyle takes his man to the boards. Played out in front there for Irvine, and Armstrong comes up big with the save once again. And we'll have a face-off deep in the Kings zone.
Number 4, Michael Wells, who got hurt in the first period, took a bad check from Mark Pallister. Apparently he's gone to the hospital, and hopefully he'll be all right, but there's talk that he his shoulder.
It's come to a stop, as Cole said, just throw boards and Pallister collects in the neutral zone. Back into the corner, and Tasker will collect this one. Plays it across for Tasker. He plays out in front. No one's there. It comes out to Clydes on the point. Back in shots for Coles. No one's there to pick it up. Pratcher for the Kings. Just forced to double back into his own corner as he plays it out to Ferry on the wing. He tries to find his, comes away with it now. Clydes is to the blue line. That goes past Armstrong. Comes the shot, and Tasker comes up with the rebound and puts that one in the top corner.
While the Sorensen-Tasker line connect on this one, Coles makes a nice shot to the net. And jumping on that rebound, Tasker makes no mistake. You'll see right here, puck in the corner, comes Tasker, loses this period.
This third period, and the score now 4-3 to the Milton Keynes Kings over the Solihull Blaze, as we see Sorensen with it now. Finds Chartrand.
Well, in overtime at the right here, back passes the puck to his teammate Callum, who gets the pass back and makes no mistake sliding it right along the ice, beating Armstrong on the bad angle there, and it's a 4-4 hockey game.
So only, 2.5 minutes gone in this third and final period. And we got a tied game, 2 goals coming up for the Solihull Blaze early on here. Zone's cleared, Coots will chase this one, and we'll get an icing call with 16:33 remaining in the third and final period. Well, I was saying earlier on what, what Coots was quoting the power player saying that, his team seemed to throw away their leads, and that's what they've done, precisely that in this third period. As we see Chartrand once again, he takes it round Ferry, brings down front, Kellum takes the shot, and Armstrong comes up with the save. But that's exactly what they've done, and now Solihull are starting to play like a team that are going into the playoffs.
Yeah, and it looks like Milton Keynes, you see Coots coming over here, the player coach, just missing that one, but that's why Milton Keynes, I think, cannot play 3 periods. They really don't have the depth and the experience on their team.
Higdon throws that cross ice, that'll be picked up by Kellum. He's got Sorensen and Chartrand with him. And Schuen trying to poach up there on the red line. Chartrand now with it. Tries to play it round Coots. Coots gets in the way of that one. He plays it over to Beckering, who clears the zone. Holyhead will control and give to Schuen. Plays that up the wing, hoping to find Irvine. He does. Irvine now. He takes the shot, and that just goes wide of Armstrong. Picked up by Pallister in the neutral zone. Off the boards, only straight to the stick of Pratcher. Pratcher tries to move the deal. Dragon curl there as Campbell comes up with a big shot there. Irvine tries to clear. Randall with another 360 shot there, and that just goes wide.
Well, we were talking about Randall and how he's improved in the curl and drag and the spinoramas and the shots. He's coming at Holyhead from all angles out there, and he's really picked up his game, young Randall.
Pallister just clears the zone, and we'll have an icing call with 14:51 remaining in the third period. It's Milton Keynes 4, Solihull 4. So we're going to face off to the left-hand side of Holyhead, deep inside the Solihull zone. Nick Paul will face off against goal scorer Michael Tasker. Tasker getting the better of that one as it's picked up by Leslie. Up the middle for Tasker, he couldn't collect. Bats that one out of the air, and throws it cross ice for Coles. Coles just forced into the corner by Perry, and Tasker has it now behind the net. He's held up by Beckering. And we'll have a face-off deep inside the Kings zone to the left-hand side of Armstrong.
You see Tasker there, the goal scorer earlier, really working hard out here, and he plays with a lot of intensity, really good on the forecheck, likes to turn the puck over, a good skater, and he's the second line center on this team, and he's doing a good job here, and he's out here with Pallister and Clydes, and I think for Solihull to improve in the playoffs, they've really got to tighten up defensively. I keep mentioning that, but it's so important in playoff hockey.
Beckering behind his own goal. Tries to throw it out the middle. That's intercepted by Coles. And he's forced offside there by Nick Paul. Fred, like you were just talking there about Tasker, and like I've mentioned in previous shows about the talent that Durham produced in their days, the Taskers, the Dixons, the Coopers, all these players, the Johnsons, they're all great players, and Tasker, he's always been a top scorer through junior development, through the GB setup. Unfortunately, he's never made the senior side, but just great skills, and it's so good around the net.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is with Durham, we go on about it a lot, is because those kids always had a lot of ice time. And that goes to Mr. Smith, who used to run the program in Durham, and the rink no longer exists, but those kids had a lot of ice time, and that's why they developed good skill.
Puck comes around the back for Paul. He plays down in front, and Holyhead just poking that away from the stick of Clark. Coles throws it into the corner. Picked up by Clark. Tasker comes in for support. Coles gives it back to Clydes on the point. Cross ice for Pallister with a big shot and a blocker saved there by Armstrong. Ferry taken to the floor there. Coles once again. Out to Tasker. He's forced into the corner. He's got Leslie behind the goal. Drops it back into the corner, and only, unfortunately for him, Nick Paul collects that puck. Paul there just creamed to the boards there by Tasker and Leslie. And the big shot there by Higdon. Straight in the bottom corner.
Yeah, nice play by Poole to get that puck over to Higdon, and he fumbles up. You see right here, Tasker takes a check by two guys, but puck slides over to Higdon, who loses the puck on a broken stick on the ice, but finishes his shot and beats Holyhead to the glove hand side. Team captain puts his team up here by 4.
So 13:09 remaining in the third period. Score now Milton Keynes 5, Solihull Blaze 4. And that goal scorer was put his team ahead, none other than Team Higdon. Please fires glove hand save there for Armstrong. But the way this turned around so quickly, Fred. Going into this third period, it was 4-2 to the Milton Keynes Kings. 2 quick goals from Tasker and Chartrand. Tied the game at 4 apiece, and then Higdon coming up with that crucial goal there to put in the bottom corner of Holyhead.
3 goals in 7 minutes, and like I said, the tempo's picked up, and Solihull have decided to play hockey this period, and so Milton Keynes just had to rebel and get back in the game, and they've done that.
Pease takes a shot, that's deflected, he managed to keep it in. He's held off by Pracho, tries to clear the zone, it comes out to Sorensen on the point. Plays it behind the net for Chartrand. Chartrand just losing out to Coots there, he gains it back once again as Kellum comes in for support. Kellum now with it. Plays it back into the corner, Sorensen. This line really circling well in the corner. And the zone is cleared by number 17, Dean Campbell. Holyhead plays it out to Pease. Plays it up to Kellum. Into the middle there, only straight to the stick of Pratcher as he gains the zone. Plays it round Kellum very well and forced behind the net there by Pease. Still with on a stick, gets it out in front. Kellum clears the zone. Chartrand will chase, but Ferry will get there first. Coots, cross ice to Campbell. He can't control. Pallister has it now. Pallister with a shot, that's deflected into the corner. Picked up once again by Coots. Off the boards for Paul. Just turning on the speed, takes it round 3 players. Forced into the corner though. Stolen off him by Clydes. Hacken Clydes, cross ice to Pease. Leslie with a shot that hits the upright. Paul now. Cross ice for Higdon. Takes it round Pallister. He's got Clark in front, tries to find him. Can't get his stick to that puck. Clark once again, down low to Higdon. Throws that one out in front. Holyhead just placed it behind his goal, and Chartrand plays it off the boards.
Well, you see Higdon beating the big man Pallister there, who couldn't make the turn, and Pally was caught, and that's one of his weaknesses, going wide on the big guy there. He's got to turn quickly, and Milton Keynes made a nice pass, Higdon to Clark, Clark just couldn't finish the hard pass coming across through the crease.
Leslie just floats that into the Milton Keynes zone, but Beckering plays it back out to Patcher. Up to Randall, makes his move on Clyde, takes the shot, that's deflected into the corner. Randall taken to the corner by Pallister, ex-teammates at Guildford last season, of course. Clyde just plays that round, and he finds Leslie. Up the middle, hoping to find Tasker, too far for him. Ferry gives it to Pratcher. Throws that one into the corner, Clyde will collect. A lot of neutral zone work here, Fred. A lot of passing, no shots at the moment though.
No, just still trying to find their ground here, but it's been good end-to-end action really, Sparksy, and both teams firing from both ends here. And we must make note that Sparksy, last Tuesday when Fife had won the championship here, Milton Keynes only lost 4-3, so they can play hockey. They're just out of the game by 1 or 2 goals. So, tells a lot about their season, and, playing on this TV game, they've done a good job tonight. They've got a nice little hockey team. Hopefully next year they can build with some more experience and depth and some good British talent and really bring it all together in a new season.
See referee Dave Cloutman there just having a word with Leslie and Randall there. I saw Leslie shot the puck after the whistle, which is a no-no thing, of course, and Randall retaliating to it, and rather than give penalties, he's called that well. He's just had a word with them, said, look, calm things down, you know, last 10 minutes of this game, you know, don't let me give you stupid penalties now.
That's the thing about Cloutman. He's really improved in that area. Good communication with the players, keeps the flow of the game going. Good heads-up referee.
Armstrong just tries to tap that through his namesake, and he comes up big with a save. Randall in the corner, loses out to Doyle. That comes out to Irvine on the point. He takes the shot. That's a weak one that just goes wide. Pratcher floats that cross ice, only straight to the glove of Shewan, who plays it across to Pease. Pease just forced back to play it back to Shewan behind the goal as Solihull regroup on this play. Cross ice for Armstrong, and he loses out to Pratcher as a puck bobbles around in the neutral zone. Campbell gives it to Randall. He just turns around and plays that one into the corner, just dodging the check of Irvine. Shewan up to Armstrong. He just throws that into the far corner as Ferry gets there first. Plays it up to Clark. He plays up to Higdon, just too far for him, and we'll have an icing call with 9:09 remaining here in the third and final period.
Milton Keynes again doing a nice job here. Both teams will change up. Higdon, who's really showed some character for his team on the fast break on the wing. And you give this boy the puck in open ice area and he'll put it away. A proven prolific goal scorer. And he's made the move over from Slough. And I'm sure the supporters in this rink would like to see him back in a MK uniform next year.
So face off to the left-hand side of Armstrong in the Milton Keynes goal. Paul and Shaw trying to face off against each other. Pallister on the point. Just throws that one in. Great save there by Armstrong. Kellum plays that through, and who's alone? Chartrand in front there. He has about 3 whacks at it and ends up on the side netting, but you can't leave him alone in front of the net, Fred.
No, he'll sneak in there and he's hacking and whacking, and you'll see just an innocent play here. You know, the puck is held in by Kellum. It comes off the skate, and you see 1, 2, 3 attempts, and Chartrand just can't get a handle on the bouncing puck. And Armstrong's glad that Coots is there to help him out. But as you say, Chartrand sneaks behind that defense. You can't leave number 12 alone because, again, he'll make you pay.
Clydes just bangs that one off the boards, and that goes round behind the net. Picked up by Coots. Rob Coots now, he's got Paul to his right, he finds him. Coots just drops behind, Clark goes to the net, he gets it across, and Holyhead just tipping that out of reach of Clark as see Chartrand on the quick break. Does a shifty there on Beckering, but Fred, that is what we're talking about from this man.
Well, weren't we talking about this in between periods? We thought maybe he was holding back, and that's exactly what we expected him. You see here, fakes, does a 360, loses his man, still has the puck, gets a shot on net, and how does he lose that check? You know, he ducks, dives, weaves, and he's one of those guys. You gotta play, you gotta watch his shoulders. You can't play the puck on him because, you know, he'll lose you every time. He did that 360 there, Sparksy, and that's the Steve Chartrand that we know.
Last 8.5 minutes of this third and final period to see Paul with it. He gets it cross ice to Clark, takes it round Pallister. Clark there, evades the 2 checks and puts it in the top corner.
Number 14, celebrating his big goal, beats Mark Pallister, walks around him, and you'll see right here, Sparksy, Poole makes a nice pass to Clark, who walks around 24 Pallister. Pally's caught at a position. Clark goes up top, the top shelf, where the cookie jar is, makes no mistake.
Of course, the young Clark there, he played last year at Telford, top British point scorer in the league. Went to Guildford this season. Unfortunately, things didn't work out for him there, but having a whale of a time up here in MK.
Still a good goal scorer, and you know, as I said, Mark Pallister really needs to work on his foot speed there, and I think, you know, he really, you know, people taking him wide really make him pay out here in bigger rinks.
Tasker drops that one for Pease. He hits the side netting. Leslie tries to get that one out in front, and Armstrong just bounces on that one with 7:51 remaining in the third period. It's now MK 6 and Solihull 4.
Well, Solihull in desperate measures here. They're out here with the Tasker line now, with Schuin and Blues on defense, Pease on defense, and you know, really, they got to stick to the simple things. Get that puck to the net and get on top of Armstrong, and hopefully there's rebounds there. But again, Milton Keynes doing a fine job defensively.
Campbell for Milton Keynes. He takes the big check from Coles. It bounced out for Randall in the neutral zone. Randall just makes a move on his man. Tries to play it out in front there. He's held back and he goes down on the ice as Tasker comes away with it now. Tasker, and his man plays the shot in, and big glove hand save there by Gavin Armstrong once again.
Quick hands by Armstrong as Tasker makes a nice end-to-end rush there. And you'll see Tasker, Randall here just going to the backhand, and he's just tied up by 44 there, Mike Schuin, and the puck will turn back the other way. Tasker on the break over through the neutral zone, just makes a nice play, and Armstrong makes a great glove hand save to keep MK in the game.
So face off to left-hand side of Armstrong. He comes back to Schuin on the point. He's allowed to walk in. He takes the shot. That's high and well wide of the goal. Clark comes the other way, finds Paul. He's got Higdon with him. Plays it across. Higdon's there, and he fans on that shot. Holyhead gets hit in the head by a shot from Higdon coming from behind the goal.
Well, the Higdon-Poole connection almost connected again. And you'll see right here, they bust on a 2-on-1. They've got the defenseman beat. Poole knows he wants to pass this puck across, gets it over, and just kind of jams Higgy, who can't get the stick on it. And the puck is deflected wide, and Solihull are lucky here. Again, defensively, Solihull nowhere to be found.
So face off to the right-hand side of Holyhead with 7:13 remaining in this game. Nick Paul just going to the bench. Part of his padding's falling apart here, and he'll just give that back to the bench. And actually, he's going to get it fixed, and Randall's going to come out and take his place. So out there now we'll have Higdon with Clark and Randall. Two young British guys with a veteran Higdon.
Yeah, so Randall will come out and he'll take the position of Poole, and what a good game he's having.
Pallister gets it to Clise. He's forced to stop behind his own goal. Throws it out in front there for Kellum. That took a deflection straight to Beckering. Knocked off his stick by Sorensen, but Coots is there to back him up. Clise collects. Up to Sorensen. Cross ice to Kellum. He just throws that one into the far corner for Chartrand to chase. Coots gets there first and plays it to Higdon. Thrown into the zone and collected by Clise. Up the middle for Chartrand. Just makes his move on Beckering and gives it to Kellum. Kellum there goes to, gets it in somehow, and 6-5 game now, Fred.
AJ Kellum breaking down the right side, cuts to the net, goes to the backhand, and on the offense, you see right here, picks up a loose puck from Stevie Chartrand, holds on, lots of poise there, just puts it through the 5-hole on Armstrong, and still, Solihull not quitting. But this line doing all the damage for Solihull, Sparksy. Chartrand with 2 goals, 2 assists. Callum now on the board with a goal and assist.
So 6:32 remaining here in this third and final period. Score now Milton Keynes 6, Solihull 5, because of that goal there from AJ Kellum. Thrown into the corner, picked up by Beckering. He plays it round for Pratcher, who just plays it through for Randall. He can't collect. Pallister gets there. Up to Chartrand. Tries to bang it through for Sorensen, but Beckering clears the zone. Clive's just forced behind his own goal. Looking for that long pass. Hacken Clive finds Pallister. Back to Clive. Makes his move on Campbell and just throws that into the corner. That'll go round for Coots to collect. He just plays it back round again, and Clive will collect in the neutral zone. Plays that through the middle, and Sorensen left it, hoping Kellum to take it. Unfortunately, Milton Keynes clear the zone with Paul now. He's got Campbell in front. He plays it out in front there. Who's there? Paul to play his own pass there, and Irvine comes away with it now. Loses out to Ferry. Back to Paul. Paul loses out to Owen, getting his first shift of the night. And he'll bring it away now. Owen just fans on that shot, and that'll be picked up by Beckering. Owen comes in with a big hit. Tasker plays it round there for Owen. He couldn't collect. Beckering does now. Plays it round the boards. Shewan just plays that one straight back in, and Irvine tried to bat that out the air. Paul plays it round, only straight to the stick of Pease. He throws it back in. Paul plays it off the boards for Higdon. He just throws that back into the Solihull zone as we enter the final 4.5 minutes of this game.
Well, MK just playing kitty by the door right now, dumping the puck in, letting Solihull take it to them and forcing them to make mistakes in their own end. And they'll do nothing fancy as Higdon, you know, just doing some good work here down deep. And Randall out here with Higdon and Clark right now, doing some good forechecking.
Clark just gets that knocked away from him. It comes out to Randall. He goes through the wraparound, and Hollyhock comes up with a save. Clark once again, just allowed to walk through. He hits the side netting, and Higdon can't get the rebound. Shot there from Clark, straight through the legs of Holyhead. Score now 7-5 to the Milton Keynes Kings.
Well, Gary Clark, the goal-scoring hero, Sparksy.
Hat-trick goal.
Gets his third goal, and what a big one. You see Higgy working along the net here, just can't force the issue. Puck comes back out to Clark, gets a good shot away. We'll call that a slick wrister, and he just puts that by Holyhead.
So 4:03 remaining in the third and final period. The score now, Milton Keynes 7, Solihull 5. Gary Clark getting his hat-trick. Oh, there's Pratchett, just throws that one into the corner. Stopped by Holyhead. Pallister now. Throws that up the middle, hoping to find Kellum. He does eventually, off the stick of Ferry. Kellum allowed to walk in. Takes the shot, saved there by Armstrong. Comes back to Sorensen. He takes a shot, that goes wide. Picked up by Randall, off the boards. Pallister can't stop. And we'll have an icing call with 3:37 remaining in this game. Fred, man of the match time. If you look at the Milton Keynes King, you've got Gary Clark with 3+1. If you look across at the Solihull Blaze, of course, you've got Chartrand with 2+2.
Yeah, there's no doubt in my mind Steve Chartrand has to be the man of the match for Solihull. He's been the difference. He's been on the board trying to turn it up in this third period. On the other hand, Gary Clark, how can you go wrong here? He scored 2 big goals in the third period. Yeah, it's been his hat trick, but it's 2 very important goals. So let's go with Clark and Chartrand tonight.
Chartrand now behind the goal. Who plays that one round for Clyde. He just taps that one back in and is picked up by Paul. Nick Paul there just loses out, and away comes Sorensen with it now. Drops for Kellum. Kellum takes the shot straight in the chest plate there and comes back out for Clyde. Pallister plays that one back in. Final 3 minutes of this game now. Tasker in the neutral zone, plays it back to Clyde. And he just floats that one into the corner for Tasker to chase, but Coots gets there first. Off the boards, hoping to find Pratchett, left to skate fast for this one. We got an icing call with 2:45 remaining in the third period. It's Milton Keynes 7, Solihull 5.
MK supporters are on their feet here, and they're so happy for their hockey club. This will be the last time they see them play, and what a performance they put on tonight, Sparks. You never know from their effort tonight that they've been a last place hockey club.
So we're going to have a face-off to the left-hand side of Armstrong. As Solihull, I mean, they picked it up in this third period, and boy, have they battled hard, but just too little too late, really, Fred. As soon as they got back into the game, they allowed Milton Keynes to take control again. As you see the shot there from the point coming in, and Armstrong covering up once again, but, you know, they've got to look forward to the playoffs now, and they can't allow those first 2 periods to slip like they did tonight.
Yeah, that's right. They're not playing 3-period hockey. Whether or not they're taking it easy because they have a playoff to look forward to. But still, I think their weaknesses are defensively. You know, they're playing poor defensively, and they're only going with one line that's really producing besides Tasker on the second line. So they need a bigger effort from everybody if they expect to get a bigger playoff run.
Shot there from Leslie, turned away from Armstrong. Tasker with a 360, and a spawning Higdon gets in the way of that one. Shewan takes the shot, that's deflected into the corner. Tasker. Solihull still applying the pressure here as Coots clears the zone up to Clark. He tips that one, and that goes into the corner. Holyhead now plays it round the back of the goal, straight to Pease. He gives it straight back to Paul. Paul with a shot, that goes wide. That'll come back round to Beckering in the neutral zone. The final 2 minutes of the third period is upon us now. And Pease once again. He just floats that one out to the neutral zone. Ferry gets there and Coles hits him. Ferry plays that cross ice, only straight to the stick of Shewan. And he's got Chartrand with him. Plays it through, and that just goes wide of the goal. Picked up now by Pease. Fires it that one in. Ferry stops it, plays it back out into the neutral zone, and then it'll fall back down into the Solihull zone as Owen collects. Final minute and a half of this game. Up to Ely. Back to Owen. He loses out. Pratcher now. Pratcher there as Adams all over him. Pratcher in the corner. He's got his man all over him. That's Neil Adams doing some great defensive work. Owen can't clear the zone. Well, we got a offside call with 1:11 remaining in this third period.
Yeah, and we've got the Pratcher line out here with Randall and Campbell doing a good job. Again, just holding that puck in. And as you say, just over a minute left in this game. Milton Keynes really done a fine job. And they got to hold their heads up high. Hopefully they can continue on tomorrow night in Edinburgh and get those 2 extra points to get out of the bottom spot.
So face off just inside the neutral zone here. Solihull just putting all their other players on, saying, look, it wasn't a wasted trip for you. Hacken-Kleiss up to Ely. He plays that one off the boards. Ferry just plays it straight back to Randall. Owen plays it deep. Beckering plays down to the neutral zone. Solihull gain possession. Just throw that one into the corner. Final 45 seconds of this game. Ferry tries to clear. Adams with it now. Back out to Owen. Pratcher comes away with it. He's got Campbell to the right. Pratcher as it comes to Campbell. He plays out to Pratt. Final 30 seconds, man. Round a second. Pratt comes across for support. 10.5 seconds remaining in this third and final period.
Well, let's just say that's all she wrote, Sparksy. 7-5, 2-goal lead here. And again, MK with, basically 2-line hockey have done a great job and played well in front of the NTL cameras tonight.
Puck played in the corner. Pratchett will grab hold of this one. He'll just clear the zone, and that'll bring up the end of this game. So at the end of 20 minutes, the score was 1 apiece. End of 40 minutes, 4-2 to the Milton Keynes Kings. And then Solihull coming back in within the first 3 minutes. And then they just traded goals until Milton Keynes came away 7-5 victors at the end of 60 minutes.
Yeah, good hockey game. And again, man of the match has to go to Clark for MK. And for Solihull has to go to Chartrand.
So on that note, at the end of 60 minutes, it's Milton Keynes 7, Solihull Blaze 5.
Having in black. Yeah, that sounds really good. What, you? Excellent. That's great. I'll take one. Hang on a sec, mate, will you? Yeah, just last week. Listen, I'm going to have to go. I'll call you back later on and organise it with you then. Bye.
No annual fee, a cashback bonus award, and more. The Morgan Stanley Dean Witter card. Has your credit card just expired?
For less than £5 a month, NTL can bring you a phone that charges national calls at our local rates. 8 extra TV channels via the wonders of cable, and internet access for just a penny a minute. Whereas BT charges you twice that for just a phone service. So for a package that's got the lot, call NTL now on 0800 183 1234. NTL, technology tamed.
Well, congratulations to the Milton Keynes Kings. Good, hard-fought game, I'm sure you agree, tonight, but the Kings coming out on top against the Solihull Blaze, so good consolation for the home sides tonight. Before we move on, must say, of course, congratulations to the Fife Flyers, picking up the league title in the Millennium season. A big season for Fife, and well done to them. It's playoff time now. This is the big one. This is what everyone looks forward to at the end of the ice hockey season in the UK. And of course, we have two groups to start off with, the top 8 teams from the British National League. Freddie Pollini's here with me. Freddie, let's take that first group first of all. We've got Fife and Hull and Peterborough and Edinburgh. Who are you going to go for the top 2 out of that?
Yeah, the A group there, Peter, if you like. Obviously, I like Fife and Hull, the 2 stronger teams, I think. They'll come out on top in that division, and Fife, as we know what they can do. Hull picked up their team from Christmas time on, and they've really improved. So look for them to be the dark horse in the playoffs.
I mean, Donny DePoe's done some business at Hull because they've had an up and down season, you know, both on and off the ice. So Donny's done well to get some good players in there again. Yeah,
some late signings, and Chris Kellen brought a lot of experience to the blue line there, and he knows his stuff. He'll know what the team needs in the playoff hunt to win. So as I said, Hull, again, the dark horse, can do a lot of bad things out there to Fife, Peterborough and Edinburgh.
Well, you picked out Fife as well as going through, and I wouldn't argue against that. I don't think many would at the moment. In fact, really, what can anyone do to stop Fife at the moment?
Fife obviously put a lot of skill into the game, don't really have the size, and I think a lot of teams in the playoffs are going to come at them hard, you know, play a physical style against them, and Fife used to the big ice surface. Again, I would think that they'll prevail in that division and come out on top.
Okay, well, the second group sees Guildford and Basingstoke and Slough and Solihull. You pick them out of that.
Yeah, that is a tough division, Peter. Slough can beat anybody. Solihull in their own rink are tough, but my 2 picks would have to be Guildford and Basingstoke. Basingstoke, as we covered a couple of their games this season, came through in the second half this year, really pulled their team together under Charlie Cologne. And my 2 picks, I'll go with Guildford and Basingstoke.
I mean, as far as Guildford's concerned, you talk to anyone around the Guildford camp over the last few weeks, they'll tell you about the handful of games where they threw the league title away this year. You can't throw away any games at all in the playoffs.
Well, it's a different season for the Guildford Flames now, and talking to the boys, they're all looking forward to it, and they don't want to mess up this time. They don't want to let anybody down. You know, they've got all the players there. Stan's got all the players he wants in his under the Guildford uniform. And they're hoping for big things in Guildford.
Okay, well, let's have the Pollini predictions then. Let's go for the semi-final lineup. What are you going to go for?
Semi-finals, I think we're looking at Fife against Basingstoke and probably Guildford against Hull.
Okay, and then on to the final on that.
My 2 picks in the final will be Fife against Guildford.
Well, we're all looking forward to it. It's going to be good stuff. And I can tell you that obviously over the next few weeks we're going to be covering the action, especially for you. And we'll see how it goes right down to the wire at the end of the playoffs. Just a reminder, the semi-finals, of course, are a best-of-3 series, and the final itself is a best-of-5. That's it from what's still a fairly noisy Planet Ice at Milton Keynes. Hope you enjoyed the action. We'll see you next time. The British National League Game of the Week, brought to you by NTL, the complete communications company, and Morgan Stanley Dean Witter.